So now we're going to start to work with a database, and this is a MERN stat course. The M in MERN stands for MongoDB, so that's what we'll be using. MongoDB is a NoSQL database, also called a document database, and it's different from a traditional relational database where you have tables and columns of data. So with a NoSQL document database, you have collections of documents, and documents are really just nothing but JSON objects. So they're structured much like we have in our products.js. So this would be a document. And when you create a new document in MongoDB, it assigns it what's called an object ID, and it puts it in an _ID field. So this will be created automatically. All right, and then we can have, all of the other fields as well. And we're going to have a few different collections. So we'll have a collection for users, we'll have a collection for orders, and for products. So let's go ahead and get started. We need to go to mongodb.com and just create an account if you don't have one. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in here. And I'm using MongoDB Atlas, which is just the cloud version. It means that we don't actually have to install it on our system. And this makes it easy to deploy as well because we can keep the same database. If you want, you can download MongoDB and you can install it on your machine. Everything is going to be the same except for the database URI, the string that you use to connect. So I'm going to go ahead and log in here with one of my accounts. All right, now as soon as I log in here, you're going to see create a cluster. And yours might look a little different. You might have some steps down here because I know when you first log in, it might be a little different. But you basically just want to find where you can build a cluster. And I'll just keep the default here. And my preferred language, JavaScript. And continue. And I'm going to choose the free tier here, create a cluster for free. And as far as cloud provider, I'm going to keep it on the default, which is AWS. And then cluster name, you can change this if you want. I'm just going to call this Traversy Media. You can call it whatever you'd like. And I'm going to click Create Cluster. And this might take 2 or 3 minutes to get set up. Now, while you're waiting for this to get set up, you can go ahead and download MongoDB Compass. So let's go ahead and go back to mongodb.com, and if we go under software, you'll see Compass. And Compass it's just a graphical user interface. It's a desktop application that you can use to connect to your database and manage your data. So I already have it installed, but what you'll do is just say try it now and choose your operating system should already be chosen here, and then just download it, install it. I already have it installed, so I'm just going to go ahead and open it up. So if we want to check our database, we won't have to actually log into Atlas. We'll be able to use Compass right from the desktop. Now we do need to put our connection string in here, which I don't have yet. So I'm just going to go back over here, and it looks like it's pretty much set up. There's a couple things we need to do for security. One is create a user. So if we go over here to security and say database access, we want to create a new database user. So down here, just put a password in. I'm just going to use Brad1234. And I'm going to choose that this user can read and write to any database, and add user. Okay, and that might take a second to set up. And then under network access, we want to add IP address. Now, if this is a production application that you're deploying, you want to add your current IP address. So you can, if you click this, your current IP address will be placed in here, and you can access it directly. I'm going to go ahead and just allow access from anywhere because I don't plan on, having this as a production application. If I do, I'll come back in and change it. But I'm just going to choose that and confirm. And that might just take a second to get set up as well. So our user is set up, and now this says active. So if we go back to clusters, and I'm going to click on collections. So this is where you would see your data if we had any. We don't have any at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and click on add my own data, and I just want to give this a database name. So I'm going to call this ProShop. And you can have multiple databases in a cluster. And then the collection name, so I'm just going to put an initial collection name of products. And we can have, obviously we can have more than one collection, but I'm just going to create that for now. So now here you can see we have our ProShop database with a products collection. And we don't even have to create the collections from here. They'll get created automatically when we run our application and we set it up to create a collection. Now what I want to do is go back to that clusters view right here and click connect. And when we're ready to actually connect our application, we'll click here. But right now I want to connect through Compass. So I'm going to click on this and click on I have MongoDB Compass and copy this string. I'm going to open up Compass and paste this in. And we want to change a couple things here. At the end it says /test. I want to change test to the name of my database, which is ProShop. And then we have to change right here, we have to add the password. So my password is Brad1234. And let's click connect. And now you can see here, now you're going to see this admin local. You can ignore that. We're just focused on our ProShop right here, which has a collection of products. Now there's nothing in here. As you can see, this collection has no data, but it is created and we are connected to our database. So we don't really need Atlas anymore. We are all set up. Well, actually the one thing we're going to need is the connection string. So what I'll do is click connect and then connect to your application, and we're going to copy this connection string here. And let's put that in our .env file. So right here we'll say Mongo_URI and set that to that, except we want to change right here where it says DB name. I'm going to change that to ProShop or whatever you called your database. And then the password, of course you want to change that to whatever you used. And I'm going to save that, close it up, and then we should be all set with my MongoDB Atlas, so we can actually close that up. So in the next video we're going to connect to our database. We're going to create a database config file, and we're going to use Mongoose to do that, which is an object data mapper. It's basically a layer that allows us to interact with our database really easily, to create items, create data, find data, all that stuff. So we'll get into that next.